What are referents again? Rylan? Yeah, something about the same size as what you're trying to measure, so you can refer to it. So, what I would like for you to do, and you can work with your partner, work with your desk mate, you may move around, I don't care, but I would like for you to give me estimates of all of these things in both the crappy imperial and then in the SI. Now, the reason I'm getting you to do this is because right now, math is very simple. As we go through this unit, you're going to be doing some complex calculations, and those calculations will end up giving you an answer. Now, how do you go about doing a complex calculation? Well, all of you grab your calculator, and your calculator gives you an answer. And you, being good, solid citizens of technology, write down whatever is showing on your calculator screen, even if it makes absolutely no sense. Because, being the age you are, you think technology is the way to go. Of course, your calculator is not any kind of intelligence. It is barely more complex than an abacus that we used to count 5,000 years ago. It is simply a machine that does what you tell it to do. So if you tell it to do something stupid, it's going to give you an answer that's stupid. And you guys, and I know this because I've been teaching math for 20 years, you guys will write down an answer that is stupid. And I don't want you to do that because none of you are stupid. Okay? So we are going to spend some time talking about what these things are. You are going to see if you can wisely look at these things and give me appropriate answers. Now, obviously, you can't get the exact answer unless you cheat and look stuff up, but you won't be doing that because you're just estimating. All right? Here is an example of what I am concerned about. I gave a hypotenuse question about 5 years ago on a final exam. The hypotenuse question looked like this. That was a lake. The lake was 2 kilometers by 7 kilometers. And I wanted to know if I took a boat up to my buddy's dock, how far it would be. Pretty easy question, right? Go to your calculator, easy peasy lemon squeezy. Almost 30% of my students told me that this lake that is only 7 kilometers long, if I get in a boat and travel here, they told me that it was going to take 53 kilometers to go this way. No, not at all. And then I asked them, I said, why would you write 53? And do you know what their answer was? My calculator said so. Of course, the answer is the square root of 53, which is 7.2. But no kid wrote that. Well, 70% of the kids wrote that, but 30% of the kids still wrote 53. And they did not think that that was odd, that some miraculous form of magic occurred, that when you actually get in the lake, it becomes 50 kilometers long. But if you're just looking at the lake, it's only 7 kilometers long. So that is what I am trying to avoid. So, go. I expect 12 numbers here. Some of them are easy to do. You can see the thing around you. Some of them you actually have to think about. Remember yesterday when some of you thought the mall was 6 kilometers away? Go. Was that you, David? Huh.
I didn't really write anything in it, so could I just get a new one or should I?
Well, I'd like you to find the old one, but go ahead and take a new one.
Would it count if I wrote foot? Because we do use the foot in 30 centimeters.
Yeah, sure, but I want to know the actual measurement.
So just the number?
Yeah. Like you are 5 feet, I don't know, 7, 8 inches tall.
Yeah.
I want a number for the width of your locker.
Right.
How wide is your locker? In inches and in a and in a SI. Imperial and an SI. And you can't do it wrong because it's an estimate. But you can kind of do it wrong because you wouldn't say your locker is 87 feet wide.
Yeah. Thank you.
Pardon me? Well, Heather, we talked yesterday this is what you missed. We discussed how long the measurements actually are. And then we used referents, which are things that we have on us that we can use to compare. So using these, how wide do you think a locker is? You don't get to go out and measure it. You just have to have a guess. That way, if you were doing a calculation about the locker, you would have a vague idea of what your answer should be before you do a bunch of calculations. Then, if you get a number that makes no sense, you would not write it down and say, my calculator said so. No, SI is System International, which is the proper name for the metric system, because it was invented by French people. I don't know what precise French person, but it was definitely a French person. If you want to copy it down, it is also on YouTube. You can copy it down later. Whew. Imperial sucks. It's stupid. I know. It's dumb. You've already convinced me. I agree. Now we have to convince the 350 million people that live right over there. Oh yeah, you figure you can? Those idiots down there can't even work out their government. What do you mean we can't? Did our government shut down? You're right, Trudeau must be awful. You know how I know? Because Canada was only rated second best country in the entire world to live in. The entire world. Switzerland. Of course. Switzerland is the greatest country ever. That's why none of us are allowed to live there. Huh? Our economy is based on the trust of the people? Our economy is based on exports, mostly. Exports of natural resources, mostly. When did we lose that?
Because we lost it all with America.
What did we lose?
A lot of timber.
We've always sent our timber to America. They're our number one customer for everything we have. Facebook isn't where you should get your facts. Yeah, MySpace. That's a good one. I haven't heard MySpace. Actually, I did just hear MySpace because my daughter is watching an old TV show on Netflix, and they made reference to MySpace. How I Met Your Mother. Malik. What? Do I what? I can't hear you. Do I play 2K? I play nothing. I have a life. I do real things, not virtual things. I do not play a video game of rugby. I go out and play rugby. I do not play NHL 2K19. I play hockey. What? I do not wait. I do not go around climbing on walls and chopping off demons' heads with a big sword. I really do that. God of War. Who cares? All the games. What do you want there? Wait, don't tell me. Shoot, you moved. You normally sit over there. You're killing me. Kyle. No. Kyle sits there in the other class. No, Sal is no. Yeah. I don't remember. Huh? Right, okay. You heard what? What is... Where? That's hilarious. You're funny. about 76 cents, which it's pretty much been for my entire life. No matter who's in power, no matter who's in power in the States, our dollar has always been around 75, 80 cents of the American dollar. Always. There was a slight bump in when George W. Bush was fighting the war on terror, and American money was worth very little, and we almost caught up to even. But for about the last 40 years, our dollar has been around 75. So all these people that are complaining about, oh, our dollar's worthless. No, it isn't. It's about what it's been for the last 40 years. People just don't take a long view of things because they like to blame the first thing they can get their hands on. Yeah, often it isn't. What do you need, Malik? Can you ask me? Okay. Yeah, it should already be done. You only had to come up with 12 numbers. All right. Let's take some guesses. How wide's your locker? Because I know how wide they are. I've measured them. I got 12 inches. By the way, all of you need to know, if you don't already know, quotation marks is inches, an apostrophe is feet. So that is 12 inches. I've got 10 inches. Any other guesses? 2 feet? I got 25 inches. Anybody else? Jenna? 13 inches. 8. All right. Now, once again, the whole point of this is to get you guys getting an idea of how big an inch is and what it actually looks like in real life. So when we do calculations with these things, if your calculator spews out an idiotic answer, you know that it's an idiotic answer. The width of a locker is actually 13 and a half inches. The door. So whoever said 13 is right on the money. Nice job, Jenna. Now, in SI, it is 31.5 centimeters. I should have gotten guesses. I'm sorry. I feel like an idiot now.
It's really just a ruler?
Yeah.
You have a ruler.
Height of your desk. You're all sitting at a desk. We'll keep with Imperial because I'm 3 feet. Anybody else? We got 36 inches, which is the exact same as 3 feet. That's cool. We got a 30. We got a 31. Okay, and let's hear some SI ones. We got 1 meter. We got 3/4 of a meter, so 75 centimeters. 3/4 of the distance that light travels in 1/299. 85 centimeters.
A light year?
It's like Price is Right in here. $1. I heard a 95. I can't remember how tall the desk is. Let's check.
No way for me to think about that.
Oh, that's about all
77. Who was the 75er? Nice work. And in Imperial, 30 and 1/4. So who do we have? We had a 31 and a 30. 31, I'm sorry, just like Price is Right, you've overbid, you lose. Who was the 30? Nice job, Sage. Well done. Are you the spokesman for the group back there? Okay. This isn't ATSS. You can just talk to me. You don't need to stand up.
Can we pretend like
If you need to.
I know 30.
Okay. I'm glad. Length of an ant. Oh, tricky question, because ants are not all the same length. Oh, I missed the pencil. Length of the pencil.
3 inches.
3 inches. That's a tiny pencil. That's a real tiny pencil. 5 inches. 7. Anything in SI? Jenna?
I was gonna say
8? Yep. Now, why is this a bad question? They're not all the same, of course. They're not all the same. My magic pencil is 5 1/4, I believe. Yeah, 5 1/4 is my magic pencil. And then SIs. Anybody got some SIs for me? 15. That would be about 6 inches. That's right. Okay, I did skip pencil. Sorry about that. So now we're on to an ant. Now, this is where we have some fun, because we all have different ideas of how long an ant is. My ant is 5'8". AUNT, my ant. Although some of you don't say ant, some of you say aunt. My aunt. Pasta. All right, what do you got? 1/4 inch? 1/4 inch. 1/2 inch. Okay, and some SI ones? 3 millimeters. Centimeter. All right, now, in the morning class, of course, we actually Googled ants, and they range from very, very tiny, like 1 millimeter. Anybody want to guess the biggest ants currently on our planet? No, just one at a time. No, not the Ant-Man's not real. The largest ant currently residing on our planet is slightly longer than 2 inches. That big. And people get worried about those little red things that walk over their feet. I don't want to see an ant that size. It's a bullet ant. Apparently they hurt. I don't know. I have never been anywhere where bullet ants could bite me. On the internet. Oh, of course there are. The dung beetle is like this big. Bugs are gross. But you guys should be friends with bugs, because probably by the time you're my age, bugs will make up the biggest part of protein in your diet. Yeah. The world can't support meat and chicken the way we are right now. We got to start eating bugs. No, true story, guys. I'm not lying. Yeah, apparently ants are delicious. Apparently I've heard that in Brazil, you can get like bags of ants and eat them like popcorn. I've heard that. I've never been there. I don't know. I don't know if it's true, Isabel. I've just heard it. Brazil is a big country. 5th biggest country in the world. Huh? Mantises, yeah. I used to somebody bought me a pack of barbecue crickets. And they just tasted like barbecue chips. There's a taco store in Florida that you can get a cricket taco. Yeah, it looks gross because it's just a pile of crickets wrapped up in a tortilla. But apparently it's quite delicious. What do you need, Malik? You look like one of those things on the dashboard waving. Or somebody at a rap show. Go on, what do you need? What do you need? Yeah, did she eat it? No, she didn't eat it? Yeah, that's all it tastes like. It's just crunchy and salty. The grossest taco I've ever had is cabeza, which is the head of a cow. Not the brain. I'm scared to eat brain, because that's where mad cow is. That's a bad idea. But I've had cabeza, which is head. It was delicious. It's not as good as lingua, which is tongue. Cow tongue is delicious. In a taco. Height of a giraffe. How tall is a giraffe? 60 feet. 60 feet. 50 feet. 12 feet. 9? 9 feet. 10 feet. All right. We're all see. This is what I find funny. You guys had some really good guesses for little things, but as soon as we stretch to big stuff, 60 feet. Okay. Okay. Just I hear you, David. 16. Fine. There. Are you happy? Okay. Now, ladies and gentlemen, a 60-foot giraffe would be as tall as a 6-story building. If you live on the 6th floor, you would look out and see the giraffe. Okay? No. This is the point I'm trying to make. You're great at little stuff. Once we extend past, your arm length, it's 800 feet tall. And in metric, any guesses for metric? 5 meters. 6 meters. Now that I've told you that 60 feet is crazy. Okay. A male giraffe is around 6 meters to 20 feet tall. A female giraffe is around 4.8 to 5 meters tall and about 16 feet tall. Now, just for fun, some of you may have seen this, some of you may not have. I always like to show this. So, think about it for a moment. 2 parts. Why is it a bad question? And how would you measure it? Now, please remember, these are old notes. I no longer have a toaster oven. I now have a microwave. So don't say it's a bad question because that's a microwave, not a toaster oven. Don't do that. Don't say it's not glass, it's plastic. That's why it's a bad question. Don't give me any of that crap. Pretend like that's a toaster oven if you need to. Go. What? Right, it's not telling me what to measure. So it's a horrible question, right? Because you could measure the surface area, you could measure the perimeter, you could measure the length, you could measure the width, you could measure the thickness, you could measure the diagonal distance, right? So that's a piece of crap question, right? Excellent. Now, if you were going to measure one of those things, how could you do it? What are some of the problems that might arise if you were to go over that thing with a ruler? Hell yeah. The ruler might be too short. What else might be a problem? Nathan. It doesn't lie flush. It might be curvy, right? You could measure from the inside because the inside might be flat. Absolutely. It's right in the middle of the thing, right? Excellent. Anything else? Yeah, that's a bit of a problem. So first thing, before we even tried this, we'd have to say, what are we measuring? So that should be the first question that you ask yourself every time you're doing a question in this unit. What am I trying to find? This question is unanswerable, isn't it? Because we have no idea what I'm trying to find. Now, I could change this question very easily, yeah? How could you accurately measure the surface area? How could you accurately measure the width? How could you, right? And then we're just faced with the problems of actually mechanically doing so, right? Okay. Next question. The key word in this question, what is it? Actually. So, what does it mean to actually measure something? Nathan. You get up and you do it. How could we right now measure from the front door of our classroom to the school office? And are there problems with that? The way the question is asked. Go. Now talk about yourself for a moment while I write a couple of things. Okay, who's got some ideas? And remember, the key word was actually measure it. Nathan.
Yeah, I don't know what's called. Like, the little wheels, like when your wheels
Yep, it's called a trundle wheel. You guys have all seen that? You walk along, it goes click, click, click every meter.
Yeah, you get one of those, but the only problem is like when you go down the stairs.
Yeah, where's the problem? I was just going to say, where's the problem?
Is when you go down the
Stairs. If you have an elevator key, it's no problem. Or is it a problem? You're still going up and down. You don't have the trundle wheel out the wall of the elevator. Unless you get up on top of the elevator like John McClane in Die Hard.
You can measure the size. How
No, you won't. Die Hard is a good Christmas movie. There's much argument every Christmas about whether or not it's a Christmas movie. But it is, of course, a Christmas movie. A lot of rulers. Yes, we could do a lot of rulers. So, we had trundle wheel. But that was a problem on the steps. And 2, we could lie a bunch of rulers on top of each other. Or meter 6, it's just a bigger ruler, right? But we still have a problem on the steps. What else could we do? Actually measure it. Okay, if the tiles were all the same shape, could we do that? Yeah, absolutely we could. So we could use reference like the tiles. Except there's a problem with that. Are they uniform? Meaning, are all the tiles the same? Okay, what else could we do? Sam? You could walk so you could count steps. Now, is there a problem with that? Not necessarily. Couldn't you measure the person's step? And then whatever it is? But is there still a problem with that? The stairs again. Sage? 1 second. Actually, you're 1.5 questions ahead of me. So put a pin in that and keep it in your head. Giraffe. Yeah, you could, 5, you could run a rope. Good answers all the way around. Some problems with all of them, but nothing we couldn't overcome, correct? Now, what if I take the word actually out of that equation? Sage, if you didn't have to actually do it, what would you do? Yeah, if actually is gone, you could use the blueprints. Because, of course, they did not build the school somewhere, take it apart and bring it here. They had a plan, and the plan was a scale drawing. Nice. Wow, you guys are so smart. 6 things. Make me sad, but not sad. Happy. They're tears of joy. Name... I will give you 5 seconds. Name as many things you can to measure as you can. Ready, set, go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. That's 1. A tape measure. That's 2. A meter stick. What else? A trundle wheel. A laser level. You can use a laser. Frickin' laser beam. What else? 30 brains. We can only come up with 5 things that measure stuff. Huh? Already there. Yeah, there's a bunch right up there. Calipers. Yep. Technology. Like a Fitbit.
You can also measure the speed of sound and then do something.
Yeah, actually, that, Malik, is sonar. That's how sonar works, using the speed of sound. Oh, you guys, so smart. You could use the speed of light. Tough to do for short distances, but you can use that. Huh? What is my favorite math class? No. Like your parents, I don't have a favorite.
What is the low key you do?
Huh? But really I do? You think so? You think I have a favorite math class? You think it's the same all year?
Can we just do two classes, like our class and the class with Sahil, Kyle, Jaden?
They're different classes. One of them is pre-diploma and one is you guys. They're different. You can't compare two different classes. They got different materials. They got different... Can't do that. You'd have to compare with another Form 10 class. I don't have one of them this semester. I had two last semester.
What about the one that
Good, Derek class.
Huh? I think Hayden was in Derek's class. I can't remember. It was last semester. What do you want from me? Look at how old I am.
That was like last
Yeah, and? I don't look into the past. I only look forward. The past can't change. You can only affect the future. Pretty deep, eh? I know, right? Okay. Now, somebody made this comment earlier. Inches are stupid because there's nothing smaller than an inch. Right? We can get smaller than centimeters. We can go down to millimeters. We can go down to micrometers. We can go down to nanometers. We can go down to picometers. Picometers. We use that to measure like the diameter of a blood cell. That's where those measurements come into place. And the one below pico we use for like measuring atoms. What do you need? What is it? Yeah, that's eighth of a what? Eighth of a who? Eighth of a when? Eighth of an inch, right? So,
even if there is one, nobody would know it. Same idea, like people don't use all that stuff in their daily lives.
they don't. Now, often I get, talk, people like, oh, I never use math ever. But, of course, you use it all the time without even thinking about it. For example, if you read a tape measure, what does the word commonly mean? It's common. I like to define the thing I'm asking to define by using that word. Yeah. What does commonly mean? Common. Yeah. What's common mean? Commonly. What does commonly mean? Common. Found often. That's a good one. Usual. Things like that. So, a tape measure is usually split into 16ths. Now, notice, please. The longest line is 1 whole inch. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. What's the next longest line? Half. What's the next longest line? A quarter. What's the next longest line? Yeah, everybody ends at a quarter. It's an eighth. And then the tiniest one, which I've already told you, is 16ths. Some tape measures will have a 30-second on it. They don't usually on a tape measure because tape measures get that little, the end that you hook on things. That moves too much to go to 30 seconds usually. So now, if you're going to measure this stuff, damn it! It's a bit of a pain if you have to count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So knowing what the big lines are is very helpful. Okay? Everybody tell me these 5 distances on our tape measure. Go. These 5 distances right here are on this tape measure. Tell me what they are. If you've been through woodwork, you should have no problem with this.
Quarter of an inch.
Just write it out, Nathan. Give other people a chance, man. Give everybody a chance. Mr. Oh, you've got a long name. It's like double-barreled, and I can't remember it. Starts with a U-Z. Oh, I was going to guess that it was something like Ubinqua Manly or something. I don't remember what it is. What is it? Don't tell me. Don't tell me. I want to read it. Ubiko Majubi? Is that right? Yes, Mr. Ubiko. Mr. Ubiko Majubi. I'm just going to call you Mr. U. Oh, that sounds weird. Hey, Mr. U. That's like, hey, you. That's no good. Hey, Mr. UM? Guy Fieri. What do you need? What? Yeah, you were asking me a question. Of course you may. It's right there across the hall. Okay, Nathan, what's the first one? Quarter of an inch. Abso-smurfly correct. Who's doing the next one? 11/16. Who's doing this one? No. No decimals in imperial. 1, because we're past 1, and then 3 what, your job? 3/8. Well, 1/8, 2/8, 3/8.
Oh, it's like the mixed fraction.
Yes. They're equivalent fractions. 2/16 is 1/8. 2/8 is 1/4. 2/4 is 1/2, and 2/2 is 1 whole. 2 and 13. It sounds like it should be a song, shouldn't it? For like teaching fractions to kids. I'm going to work on that. Although I have no musical ability whatsoever. 3 and 7/16. Can everybody do that? Now, you have a choice. You could actually count the little spots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. But you don't have to do that if you know, Sage. Why do you not have to count the 7? Yeah, because you know that this is half. And half is 8/16, right? And it's 1 down from 8/16, so it's 7/16. Everybody cool? Can everybody read a tape measure? Yeah? Sweet. Now I got a nice easy one for you. Do these 3 SI ones. How is SI different from imperial? What are we allowed to use? Meters and centimeters. And or decimals. So go. What are those 3? Who would like to choose a fun color for us?
Purple.
Purple? Okay. How long's this one? 11.4 watts. Centimeters. How else could I write that and have it be correct? I could write 114 millimeters. What else could I write? 1.14 meters? You could do a 1.14. It's one of the measurements that we don't use in Canada. Decimeter, you could put 1.14 decimeters. What could you do for meters? 0.114 meters. Now, if this were math class, and I was one of those math teachers that doesn't care about real life, I would say, tell me how long that is in kilometers. Exactly, right? It's a stupid math class question, not a real life question. You would never measure something that small, this big in kilometers, would you? But you can because it's metric. How many more zeros would I have to add here to get this up to kilometers? 4? Kilo means what? 1,000. So how many more zeros do I need to add? 3. So this is 0.000114 kilometers. But that's a math class question, right? That's not a real life question. Yeah? You would never give me that distance in anything but centimeters or millimeters, right? Now, if we wanted to get crazy, what is it in nanometers? Which is the next one down from milli. Oh, I'm sorry, micrometers. That's the next one down from milli. No.
10,000.
No. Just one more zero. 1,140 micrometers, which we write like this. A fancy M that is the letter mu from Greek. But you don't need to know that. That's just for fun. What's this one? It's a tricky one. Be careful. 13. Nice job, class. You are my favorites. What's this one? 16.7. Do you just call me a liar? I'm pretty sure I heard you call me a liar. Really? Oh, I should start writing tickets and fining you. That's a good idea. Whose idea was that? False accusation? He called me a liar. People witnessed it.
Lack of evidence.
What lack of evidence? I have eyewitnesses. Well, technically they're ear witnesses. Shut up. All right, wise bums. Do those 4. Are they metric anymore? No. So are you allowed to have decimals? No. So tell me what those 4 are. There's a trick to this one, and it's kind of mean, and I feel a little bad. Not really. I'm pretending. I'm not a particularly good actor. Squeaky Shoe Club over there. Hey, who's missing today? 1 empty desk, 2 empty desks. Yeah, I know Jacqueline's over there, but there's no. I know that, but if there's 2 empty desks, that means there's 2 kids missing. Who? Augie is transferred out. Are you going to be okay, Jordan? I got tissue. You'll be okay. All right. Augie was actually not transferred. He came to the wrong class. Apparently, I look like Miss Chu.
I looked at his sheet. It said Mr. Myers.
I know it did. It did. I know. I'm just giving him a hard time. Yeah, it did. Because they screwed up downstairs because there's so many new wins in the school all of a sudden. And the last name, Nguyen, there's a ton of new wins in the school right now, all of a sudden. And the counselors keep screwing it up. All right, what's this guy? 4 and 5/8. What was the trick that I pulled on you there, Heather? There's no 16ths. These are all 8ths. So what's this one? 5.5. Would you ever say 5 and 4/8? Of course not. It's 5.5. What's this one? 6 and 7/8. And what's this one? 7 1/4. Would you ever say 7 and 2/8? Of course not. You can, but you wouldn't. All right, now listen up. It is the end of the day. The next 2 pages are your practice in adding, subtracting, multiplying, and dividing fractions. Listen to me. I know how you kids do these. You do like 3 of them, and then you start working back and forth to try and get the answer to the joke. This is not puzzle sheet 10. Do the math. I also know that the vast majority of you aren't going to bother doing this homework. That's okay if you are only going to choose to do one of these things, and I know as soon as I finish this sentence, I'm guaranteeing that you are only going to do one of them. If you are only going to do one of them, please do the second one, because it has add, subtract, multiply, and divide. It's got everything on it. The first one is just adding and subtracting. Okay? Everybody good? And I will warn you, these particular ones are here for the math, not for the joke. The jokes are crap on these 2. But I have some ones later in your book where the jokes are damn funny. And you're going to want to do them. But you're still going to cheat and Google them. Because you're kids, and that's what you do. Okay?